I think it fits into what I have for number 5. So we'll get back to that.
Yeah, tie all
Yeah.
the way around.
Yes. So I kind of think that. So now for 4 you have and I have 3 the PCG or yeah, there's 3 the PCGS Guide to Coin Grading and Counterfeit Detection. I think is probably one of the greatest numismatic books ever written.
Yes, that book has saved me a lot of money.
Yeah, it's got just tons and tons of great information. And although you and I both feel that having something that is really the ANA standards at the top is just kind of us saying that, PCGS has their own standards. And if you're going to submit coins to PCGS, it's really important to understand their standards because then you can, interpret what they say. But that the overall hobby grading standards to us are we hold it in a little bit higher
Oh, and I think the most
regard.
important part of that book is the counterfeit detection. I mean, that's
Oh,
almost
absolutely.
the only thing I've ever used in that book.
Sure. In the back of the book, there are pictures of all kinds of fakes and the genuine things with the
Yes.
markers for the genuine stuff. And yes, absolutely. We were just looking at it in the shop at things like the 16D Mercury dime, 1877 Indian head. It has pictures of those in there
Hmm.
and what they're supposed to look like, and it gives you a really good idea of coins that you may not have lying around to compare to.
Yep, and that's why we keep a copy at the shop, and whenever something interesting comes in, I always, I tell my guys, you need to double check it in this book. This will tell you. If it's not in there, then we'll figure something else out. But this is the go-to book on that. So
Okay, so for number 4 for me, because you had PCGS Guide to Coin Grading and Counterfeit Detection,
yep.
I have Making the Grade,
You know what?
which
That
is
didn't
published
make.
by Coin World.
Yeah, that it should have made my list, I guess, but it didn't.
Well, I just, there's kind of a theme to mine. If you look at it, it's like there's the Red Book, which is general information, and then grading standards, and then counterfeit detection after that, and then this is how you grade. Because although you have the standards, you may not quite understand, this is exactly where you look on the coin. It's one of the reasons why I like it is because even in series that you're not, ultra familiar with, you can look at that book and you can instantly grade that type of coin much better.
Yeah, and it would have been probably my sixth or seventh position, but yeah, it's a good book. Definitely, I kind of went a different direction though with my number 5, and I picked the Coin Collector Survival Manual by Scott Travers.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
There was a book that I completely neglected.
yeah. Well, and the reason I like that book is because it kind of helps you transcend the beginning. Um, it kind of helps you transcend being a beginner collector and move on to covering things like investment quality coins, going to auctions, third party grading. It talks about eye appeal. It talks about storage and all sorts of other stuff that you kind of, as you really get into it, that you need to consider. So,
Well, there's another book it kind of reminds me of then is Bowers wrote a book called The Expert's Guide,
yes.
which has a lot of that same stuff in it. Now, if that is not my number 5, but if you now listen to my number 5, you'll actually think about it, and I, the Scott Travers book fits in perfectly. I actually have something much more general as number 5 because I'm thinking now by the time we get down to here, it is so much more dependent on what it is that you collect.
Yeah.
So I put for number 5 some specialist reference.
Which would have been like my World Coin
Right.
Guide.
I.e.,
Yeah.
if you collect varieties, the Cherry Picker's Guide, or if, like me, you like to read about facts, the Coin World Almanac.
Hmm.
Whitman has a series of red books called the Bowers series, and they cover specific subjects like Civil War tokens, Morgan dollars, half and large cents, the barber coins. You kind of smell what I'm cooking with that
Yeah.
line. It's interest specific books, that focus on an aspect of the hobby that you can enjoy. So if you enjoy historical coins of the early U.S. Mint, there are great books on the history of the U.S. Mint that might increase your enjoyment of those coins. I've kind of lately taken a fancy to earliest 20th century Canadian coins, and naturally I've started reading up on the history of the Canadian Mint.
Yeah.
I found a book by Haxby in a used bookstore for $5 that's called Striking Impressions.
Mm-hmm.
And Striking Impressions is about the history of the Canadian Mint and what has influenced their coinage over the past 100 years.
Hmm. Interesting.
It's really really cool. So there's books on paper money. Matt, you remember Whitman's obsolete paper money books?
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
good.
those were only the first two volumes, and it's
Yeah,
like we needed a forklift to get these things.
they are ginormous.
And there are additions to that series,
Yeah.
I believe. But so there's tons and tons of books on virtually every subject and everything you can think of. And so I think that it's really important to have some sort of specialist reference to add to. So those are the five in my book, the Red Book: grading standards, counterfeit detection, something that helps you grade, and some specialist reference that really describes what it is that you're into.
Yeah, I like it.
And now, the coolest thing to walk into Matt's store.
Brought to you by deep-voiced men. Deep men voicing things on radio ever.
Forever.
That's fantastic.
Well, interesting week. Nothing really cool happened this week.
Get out of here.
No, it was
Nothing.
nothing really cool. But there was a cool coin that walked in.
Okay.
Um, uh, this is actually going to be a first for this particular segment, but
For
it's a coin
the
that I did
coolest
not
thing
buy.
first.
I didn't buy it.
Oh, okay.
I made an offer on it, and we could not come to terms. So what it was an 1803 $10 gold piece. And it was certified by PCGS as an AU53.
Wow.
Yeah, cool
And I
coin.
mean, this is a coin that has the fancy hat on. I mean, I don't know how
Yeah,
to describe it. It's
yeah. The
it's
heraldic
it's
eagle.
unique. The hat that
Yeah,
Liberty is wearing is unique in all of U.S. coinage. I've never seen one quite like it.
yeah. It's kind of a
Sunday gonna meet in hat.
something like that. Yeah, it's a very interesting hat.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, that particular coin is uber scarce. They never walk in. So when it did walk in, I kind of got the old Matt. We need you to come look at this because I'm not normally.
That panicked voice that comes from the front of the store.
Yes, yes. I'm
Matt.
not normally in the front. Normally I have to get called up, but yeah, occasionally I will get one of those. Hey Matt, come check this out. So when that happens, I know it's something decent.
Was this Evan that was calling back in?
Yeah, yeah.
See, when Evan calls, now it's like, okay, now this is where Matt craps his pants and goes, "Oh God, what have I got to buy now?"
Yeah. Well, my front of the house guys are really good.
Yes,
Both of
and
my
that's why I say for them to call for you, it's like
yes,
this is
they,
important.
they are the first line of defense against the crap. If that makes sense.
They are the Sentinels.
Yes.
They smell.
We get a lot of stuff in the store, a lot of stuff that doesn't require my use, and I have a lot of other stuff I need to do. So, they're kind of my filters.
And there's one thing you don't need to do, and that's listen to a bunch of crap. I get it.
Well, listen to or look at. Um,
I got this 1943 penny. It's
it's
steel.
funny color.
It's
Yeah.
silver.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but yeah, so when they call me up, it's very, a lot of the times it's something that either needs a lot of research done or it's just a really high dollar piece. Um, and we offered $15,000 for this coin and did not get it bought. So,
Really?
yep.
15 grand and it didn't get it done.
Yeah, well, the auction numbers were kind of soft. There hasn't been one that sold on a PCGS holder since 2009, and the last NGC coin brought about 16,000. So we thought 15,000 was a fair number for the customer, and apparently he bought it in a little bit stronger market, and we just weren't able to come together. That happens.
Yeah, that's the way it works sometimes. That's
Yep.
why, I'll tell you what though, that's how you know that you're being, you're going to get some that accept it, you're going to get some that say no, and
You can't win them all, and
Right.
this is a customer we do business with on a pretty regular basis, so I'm not worried that
He
he was
didn't go
bad.
storming out, so.
No, I mean, and when we get a coin like that, that's a big money coin, I always actually tend to show my customers what I'm looking at as far as pricing goes,
Sure.
and it's pretty easy on this coin because, like I said, the last PCGS coin sold at Bowers in 2009.
Well, there's just
And
not that many of them either.
yeah, exactly. There's only I think 12 pieces certified by PCGS at that grade. So didn't have a lot of information to go on, and I didn't want to stick it out too far and get it cut off.
How many of them were made in total? Do you know?
I think 15,000 plus or minus.
15,000, and then whatever the survival rate of them is. It's
Not very many.
no, because that was a big gold coin.
I would guess. I think they guesstimate about 250 pieces.
That's insane.
Yeah. So, anyways, come strolling in the store. I got the Drew on it and look at it for a little bit.
And unlike a lot of the things that are, cool and on the website, this one you just get to hear about. You got to think about it.
It's the one that
Picture
got
it
away.
in mind.
But you know what? Hopefully someday I get to buy it because, like I said, the customer that brought it in is a good customer. We've been dealing together for a long time, and it hopefully either the market comes back a little bit and I can pay him more money, or something else happens.
We hope.
Well, it's just
Well,
one of those
hopefully
coins
the market improves and sometime soon.
yeah, it's just one of those coins that I love to own that kind of stuff because it's just so cool. So we are Lost Dutchman rare coins, not Lost Dutchman common stuff.
Is that why your attitude? I got it now. We're Lost Dutchman rare coins.
And I'm not saying that we don't appreciate the common stuff. And
No, I'm saying you don't appreciate the common stuff.
But it is nice to see a really nice scarce piece occasionally.
Yes. So it's awesome to hear about it.
It is.
This is Harley Spiller, and you're listening to Coin Show Radio.
We'd like to thank our contributors, the people that wrote to us, offered suggestions and ideas, posted to social media, asked questions, or in some other way supported or inspired us. As always, an enormous thanks for listening. Without you, the listener, this entire endeavor would just be completely pointless.
And we've been getting a lot of listener questions lately. I love that. Keep them coming.
Yes, just keep them coming. Thanks to Tony Alvarez and the Tony Alvarez Band for our theme music. Visit them at TonyAlvarezBand.com. Also, a big thanks to the Coffin Cats for just being cool. Visit them, CoffinCatsRock.com. A big thanks to our Facebook, Twitter coordinator, Andy Simonson. Andy is making our Facebook page a place to be on social media.
Have we got him a nickname yet?
No.
Need to get him one.
Need to get Andy a nickname. Yeah. We should have a contest.
We should totally have a contest.
Give Andy a nickname.
Like the maestro of social media.
Well, he is, but it's got to be positive.
Well, that's positive.
Because Andy rocks. I mean, that's all I'm saying. I'm just giving off, to the listeners, because, sometimes when you do stuff like that and you put out a contest, you get really, really mean responses.
Like that guy we don't know about.
No, don't get me wrong. They're really entertaining, so send them. but they're not going to win. I'm just telling you. Andy's my guy. I got his back.
He is very good at what he does for us.
He is
greatly appreciated.
He has been posting new and interesting articles every single day on social media. This guy, he never stops. He's awesome. And if you've visited our Twitter or Facebook pages recently, you have enjoyed his work, I'll guarantee it. But if you haven't checked it out yet, I said, like that segue, come and take a look at our Facebook page. It's easy to find at www.facebook.com/CoinShowRadio. The stuff that Andy posts there every day is amazing and will keep you well informed.
#truth.
Yes. Share the posts and articles with your friends and the people you know. Don't forget to check out our new Facebook group entitled Friends of the Coin Show. It's a closed group where we all share our observations, information, discoveries, and things of interest. One of the things I like most about the group is that anyone who subscribes sees every message. So, you get all of it. You get everything with the whole group. So it's a replacement for our old forum where listeners could share their thoughts with everyone and people could respond, but it's bigger and even nicer, than all that stuff. Did you know that this and many recent episodes are available for your listening pleasure on iTunes, Spreaker.com, iHeartRadio.com, and, of course, our website at CoinShowRadio.com? Did you know that, Matt?
I did know that.
That's right. That's right.
That's right.
And if you visit our webpage at coinshowradio.com, you'll find links to listen to or download all of our past podcasts. So you can make comments on the episodes there, and share your thoughts if you want.